Your story is, well, I'll let you tell it, but I mean, you started out as a bricklayer in East London, and you kind of lied your way into a stock market job, ended up in Hong Kong, got fired very quickly, like, tell the story, because I mean, you do it so much better than I do.
I don't think the word lie. I think I was just creative with the truth.
Okay, you bet some truth, yeah.
I think my name, my home address, and possibly my birthday, I wouldn't even guarantee that, were accurate on the resume. But yeah, I was a bricklayer from East London. And I remember one day, and if anyone's watching this, you know, they already can see that I'm a 250-pounder biker. Simple as that, always have been, always will be. And I used to go down to the local pub with all the other bikers. And I remember being in that room and realizing that everyone in that room was a broke-ass biker. And I realized that you're always a combination of the room that you are in. So that's me. I'm a broke-ass biker. As long as I stay in this room, that is what I am. So I didn't want to be that person. I wanted to be something better. And this was in the 80s, where we had Wall Street, the movie, and all these, and there was all this opulence being talked about, and Rolex. And of course, we didn't have Instagram to show us how, you know, inadequate our life was back then. But, you know, we were watching James Bond, and we were watching Wall Street, and all of these movies, and all of these faraway destinations that I knew I would never visit and never naturally be around as long as I stayed in that room. So I tried to change the room I was in, and it led me on a journey of discomfort, discouragement, being fired. And a friend of mine once that got a job in a banking organization, he actually said to me, they're doing a big hiring platform for Hong Kong. Come on in, you know, we'll talk to you, you know, they'll train you up, and then you could possibly get a apprentice stockbroking position in Hong Kong in the new office. So I turned up. There were about 200 people sitting in this room, and they literally just grabbed like 60 of us and gave us the job to go to. And in my resume, I wanted it to be funny because I had nothing to be in there. I even wrote in there a paragraph about how I was related to the Queen of England. I wanted you to read this resume and realize it was bollocks, but just kind of smile and go, well, look, the guy made me laugh. I'll give him a shot. That's what I was going for. So it was greater fiction than Harry Potter. They didn't read it. They literally didn't read it. They literally looked around. Obviously, there had been some kind of connection with me and him, so they just let me through the net. 60 of us went over to Hong Kong. 60 of us did orientation in the Shangri-La on the Monday. And on the Tuesday, I was fired. So they realized I had but now I'm in Hong Kong.
What did they fire you for? Like, what did they pick up on when they said, right, this guy's not a good fit?
Yeah, you know, where the funny thing was we were in the Shangri-La Hotel for orientation on Hong Kong Island. And then on the Tuesday, we were taken into Victoria Harbour for where their office was. And as I came into the reception, you had to get your badges. That was the first time we'd been in the office, because the day before we were in the conference room of the hotel. So you went in to get your credentials. They didn't give me my credentials. They literally went, could you speak to so-and-so? They're waiting for you in the boardroom. So again, 250-pounder biker. I'm in there with a $99 suit on, and I walk into this room, and there's two guys that were smaller than me if they were combined. And they're both looking at me, and they know they're going to fire me because they've obviously done some checking. They've looked at the resume. They looked at the tests that I was doing the day before and realized I knew nothing. And they were like, we're just completing our file, Mr. Sims. Where is your Series 7 license? We can't seem to find it here. And I went, I don't have one of them. And in England, you can get one that was an 11 that was similar to the American version of this Series 7. And they went, oh, I forgot you're from England. You probably got the 11. Now, I don't have that either. And of course, they're both looking at me. They both know that they're firing me, but they're both looking at each other going, you tell him. No, you tell him. No, you. And we're getting, and in that moment, I just smiled because you knew it was happening. You knew it was coming. And everyone just started laughing. And the guy looked at me in the middle of laughing. He went, you know, you're fired, don't you? And I went, yeah, I know. And he went, what were you thinking? I said, I just wanted to try something. I never want to be the guy that doesn't try. And he said, well, look, here's a little bit of good news. Because we got you over here, we have to, even though we fired you today, give you your 3 months salary and you get the apartment for 3 months.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, now the apartment.
That's what got you in the nightclub business. And I want you guys to stick around because, I mean, the story's going to get real good because, I mean, Steve's the kind of guy that, I mean, he runs parties for guys like Elton John. If you want to go down and see the Titanic, it's been arranged. You want to get on a stage with your favorite rock band, you can make it happen. So this is most definitely a playing to win story that definitely deserves a place on this playlist. So you're in Hong Kong. And then you kind of pivot to something else because you got to sort your life out from there.
You got to sort your life out. I tried loads of things, failed. So I became very educated on what I couldn't do. Ended up being in a nightclub one night and literally just thought, like all entrepreneurs, this is it. This is it. This is my basement. I left a noble profession of being a masonry, of being a bricklayer, a proud industry. And now I'm just in the middle of a nightclub in Wan Chai trying to get drunk. And quite simply, that night, honestly, I wanted to fight. I was very depressed. I was very upset with my life. My wife was still in England, and I was lying to her that everything was going well because, of course, I was still getting paid.
This is still the same woman that you're with today?
Yeah, we met when we were 16 and 17. Okay. So, you know, we celebrate 37 years this year, I think. Literally, there was a bit of trouble inside the club, and the lady asked me, would I sort it out? And I thought, why are you asking me? I got nothing to do with this pub. And she turned around and she said, well, you're big and ugly. You know, if you sort it out, I'll pay for all your drinks. And she had me at that. So I went, all right. So I became the doorman. Now, here's where a pivotal twist happens. Entrepreneurs, and we're basing it on the old Dr. Sean Stevenson statement, we look at things under two ways. Did it happen for us or did it happen to us? Now, I'm on the front of a nightclub where my job description is to punch people. And I had the chance, like my other meatheads, to just avoid as many fights as I could and then go home with the tips and takings from the night. Or could I make this better for me? I suddenly realized I had an incredible pedestal to human psychology, to watch people interact with each other. You know, you've seen people, and, you know, me and you have been in a lot of the same circles. You know, people that are really wealthy, the way that they talk, handle themselves, walk around, interact. And then you've got those people that are pretending. You know, the guy that's bought a new watch and he's got his left sleeve rolled up just so you can notice his new watch. Mm-hmm. The rich guy couldn't give a shit. And I remember Giuseppe Risi, the guy that owns the largest Ferrari dealership in Texas, said to me once, the guy that turns up to a Ferrari dealership in a suit on a Saturday can't afford one. The guy that turns up in shorts and sandals on a Tuesday, he's on his third. So I suddenly got to see how people interacted. And then I started trying to have conversations with them. And the manager would see me not only protecting the front door, but now walking around the club only to the booths going, hey, guys, you having a good night? You know, what are you up to? And interacting with them and almost doing his job. You know, when you're in a restaurant now and the manager asks, you having a good night? Yeah. I was doing that because I wanted to have the conversation. And then I would get people saying to me, oh, are you going to that party? Or do you know about that nightclub? Or do you know about that concert? And I realized very early on, if I could be the solution to your problem, you didn't care what I looked like. So if I could get you into this club, if I could get you into the release of a new Cartier line, if I could get you into the unveiling of a new Mercedes or into an award show, I had your attention. For one, I'm going to charge you because if they don't pay attention. But my whole goal was a Trojan horse. I launched the world's largest concierge firm because I wanted to have a conversation with you the day after and ask you why you were successful and I wasn't. I wanted to get educated, and that's what happened.
And then you turned into this connector of people, and that's where the Bluefish brand came from. I think it was kind of like a secret word to get into the clubs.
Yeah, I used to have these little stupid words. I used to like to have people smiling as they walked into an event.
Mhm.
So I would always say, like, okay, tonight's event, it's at the dock at 8 o'clock. When you see the doorman, your password is you've got to name one of the Teletubbies, or you've got to name a Big Bird's mate from Sesame Street. And so people would
Mr.
literally walk up.
Snuffleupagus, wasn't it?
Yeah. So people would literally walk up to the doorman and go, Snuffleupagus. And they go, oh, in you go. Now, here's the thing. Look at you, Rich. The amount of people that walk into the club smiling and giggling because they've just said a silly word.
Yeah.
I had never any trouble in my party. And of course, you imagine, it's almost like you're pumping a drug into a party. Everyone that walks through the door. Now, someone actually said this to me one day about that was my secret sauce. And as entrepreneurs, we usually don't know what we're good at until it's brought to our attention. But someone said to me, they said, we always love the front door, the inside front door of your clubs, because the enthusiasm that bleeds through it is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what they were on about. If you ever go to a club or a bar and the door opens, everyone looks at the door, but no one's smiling. They kind of scope who's coming in. Is it a hot girl? Is it a threatening guy? Who is it?
Mm-hmm.
There's this almost like aggressiveness to who's coming through the door. But in my events, everyone was always coming through the door smiling. And so they always loved it. I ended up throwing these events. I ended up working for, oh my God, anything you think about the planet, from the Macau Fashion Week, Milan, Paris, New York, when it was 7th on 6th, and it was Bryant Park in the tents, the Grammys, the Elton John's Oscar party, the Palm Beach Art Fair, the Florida Boat Show, MTV Awards, Super Bowl. I've worked for the biggest, largest events in the planet, and I've ended up working on their marketing and branding as well, and that's why I've got Sims Media now. But I worked on all of those only to be able to get into the rooms I needed to be, because back then, we didn't have podcasts. Mm-hmm. Back then, we didn't have Instagram. Back then, we didn't have YouTube channels. We didn't have any of the environments for us to be able to receive this information from. So I had to create a reason to be able to have a conversation with Elton John, Richard Branson, Jean-Paul DeJoria, Elon Musk, name them. I created experiences to be able to have that conversation. And then I used the information I got to make sure I was successful from it.
Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.